All right, let's jump right into it. Today we're breaking down this absolutely fascinating narrative formula that's been completely taking over YouTube. We're talking about the viral justice tale of the undercover official. It's a very specific, highly addictive genre of fictional stories, and they all share this deeply satisfying core theme: high-ranking female officials confronting systemic corruption totally head-on.
So, picture this. Systemic corruption blindly picks a fight with, well, absolute authority. Across all the source stories we're unpacking in this explainer, we see the exact same brilliant premise play out. We're looking at tales of district magistrates and superintendents of police. You know, powerful women at the very top of the administrative food chain. But they shed their titles, they drop the security details, and they ditch the VIP status just to experience the gritty reality of the streets. And what they find? It's absolutely shocking.
To really understand why these stories are so compelling, we're going to deconstruct this trope into 4 distinct phases: the incognito setup, the abuse of power, the dramatic reveal, and finally, systemic reform and justice.
Starting us off with Phase 1, the incognito setup, or as I like to call it, stripping away the armor.
You see, to truly get how the system works, our heroines literally have to become the everyday people it's supposed to protect. In every single story, the setup involves something completely mundane. We've got DM Pooja Singh simply trying to buy some spicy pani puri from a street vendor named Shambhu, or SP Ananya Singh just wearing a simple suit shopping for a sari for her sister's wedding. Then there's Army Captain Radhika riding an old scooter with her mom, and the mother of DM Savitri selling guavas from a small street basket. By stripping away the sirens, the salutes, and the VIP treatment, these powerful women become completely invisible to the corrupt bureaucracy around them.
Which brings us right into Phase 2, the abuse of power, featuring our arrogant antagonists. Now, without those shiny titles to shield them, our heroes are thrown right into the deep end with the predators. And honestly, there's this wild, almost uncanny pattern with the bad guys in these stories. They are carbon copies of bureaucratic arrogance. I mean, a bunch of these corrupt inspectors are literally just named Vikram. Vikram Rathore, Vikram Rain, Vikram Singh. It's wild. They're designed to represent the absolute worst of unchecked authority. They'll kick over Shambhu's Pani Puri cart, destroying a whole day's livelihood just because he couldn't pay a bribe. Or take Inspector Arun Chowdhury, who literally throws a poor elderly woman's guava basket into the street just because she dared to ask him for payment. And when our undercover heroines step up to demand basic legal rights, these guys laugh in their faces. They completely mock the law, which sets the stage for a massive escalation. The formula here just cranks up the drama to 11. It's perfectly designed to make you feel that utter, crushing helplessness of the everyday citizen. Step 1 is the confrontation. The undercover official calmly quotes the law. Simple enough, right? But then, Step 2, the shocking escalation. The corrupt official, his ego totally bruised by this common woman, resorts to immediate physical violence. In almost every variation of this story, the heroine or her family member is brutally slapped in broad daylight. And finally, Step 3, incarceration. They're dragged away and thrown into a filthy, dark lockup. And the brilliant part? The heroines purposely withhold their true identities here. They take the abuse just to see exactly how deep the rot actually goes. To really hammer home the psychological terror of being abused by the system, they lock our heroes in a cell with this classic arrogant threat: "We'll take all the arrogance out of you by morning, then you'll see our status." Inside these lockups, it is hellish. Mosquitoes, terrible stench, the sound of other innocent people weeping in the dark. It is the ultimate low point, and it builds immense narrative tension. As a viewer, you're basically screaming at your screen, just waiting for the hero to finally drop the act. So the tension is peaking, which leads us straight into Phase 3, the dramatic reveal, where the power dynamic completely flips. This is it. This is the exact moment the armor goes back on, and oh man, the tables are violently turned. The very same men who were casually dealing out slaps and throwing people into jail cells without a second thought are suddenly reduced to trembling, crying messes. Their arrogance literally evaporates in a split second. These stories masterfully use this contrast to prove a crucial point. These corrupt officials don't actually respect the law. They only respect fear and authority. And these mic drop reveals instantly neutralize the abusers and set the stage for some serious retribution. I mean, picture DM Pooja Singh. She's still bearing the red mark of a slap on her cheek, right? But she calmly pulls out a personal phone while surrounded by her abusers, dials the commissioner, and just casually orders him and the SSP down to the station. Incredible. Or SP and Nanya, locked in a cell, suddenly recognized by an honest officer who immediately throws open the gates and snaps a crisp salute, leaving that corrupt Inspector Vikram sweating in absolute terror. And in DM Savitri's case, she just walks into the station in plain clothes to file a report. The corrupt cops are mocking her, right up until the local corrupt politician walks in, recognizes the DM, and instantly folds his hands in subservience. The psychological whiplash for the villains here is just incredibly satisfying to watch.
But the story doesn't end there. Let's look at Phase 4, Systemic Reform and Justice, the aftermath.
Because these heroines, they don't just punish the guys who insulted them. They realize their personal humiliation is just a symptom of a much, much bigger disease. And the pacing of the justice here is so fast and satisfying. Within the very first hour, the corrupt officers are stripped of their belts and hats, suspended on the spot, and ironically thrown right into the very lockups they used to terrorize others. But it doesn't stop. By hour 24, strict FIRs are filed, and our heroines are holding press conferences declaring that this isn't just about them. Within days, structural changes are mandated. DM Pooja orders CCTV cameras in every single corner of the stations. DM Anjali mandates public hearings every 15 days and links station camera feeds directly to her own office. They use their momentary victimization to enact sweeping, permanent safeguards.
And the cleanup doesn't stop at the precinct either. It goes all the way to the top. The narrative smartly points out that dirty cops don't operate in a vacuum. SP Ananya doesn't just arrest the inspector who harassed her, she uses that momentum to uncover a whole illegal syndicate. She eventually bulldozes the illegal properties of the corrupt MLA Bhairav Singh and locks him up. We see similar takedowns of guys like Ganga Prasad Yaba. The heroines totally dismantle the invisible shield of political protection that allows everyday corruption to thrive in the first place.
It all builds to this powerful declaration. As the heroines say, this isn't just about me. It's about every citizen who faces humiliation. I declare war against this rotten system. And that right there is the ultimate moral of the trope. The protagonists are explicitly showing us that if a district magistrate or a superintendent of police can get slapped and thrown in jail just because they were wearing plain clothes, then the average person has absolutely no hope. They turn their personal trauma into a righteous crusade, proving that true power isn't about the uniform you wear, it's about the humanity and the integrity you uphold.
Now, obviously, these viral YouTube tales are fiction. They're so wildly popular because they offer us this amazing fantasy of instant, uncompromising justice. They give us heroes who absolutely can't be bought, intimidated, or silenced. But it leaves us with a really critical thought to ponder. While we might not all be undercover DMs or SPs, how can we, as a society, foster institutions that treat the common citizen with the exact same respect they show to a VIP?